Hey guys, Viggoman here and welcome back to another video from Osterham. Today we have a special video. This is episode 20, which means it's time for us to do an update and a tour of this massive project here. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy. We started this project over 8 months ago, which is insane, but I think we've come a long way. If you're new here, this video here is perfect for you because you can just get everything into one single video, but I do recommend you going back and watch the 19 first episodes so you can see the entire evolution of this city here. Anyway, let's start the tour. Let's start here on the eastern side and then we'll slowly progress through the city here. The eastern side here houses a barbican, which is another layer of protection for the gatehouse. This is not the main gatehouse, but it's one of two main gatehouses into the city. The barbican is currently housing a tournament, some sort of jousting tournament. So there's a lot of wonderful vivid colors here with the tents, and then we have of course the tourney grounds in the middle here. Just outside this barbican there is a little harbor. This is not the main harbor, we'll get to that later, but this is mainly for the smaller common people, I guess, the less wealthy sailors and mostly fishermen that have these very small boats, and they travel around in the swamps here collecting oysters, which is one of the main export goods for this city here, and it's a lot of them in the swamps around the city. So we have this small docking area for them, and it's very old, very worn down, and as you can see it's not being prioritized by the city. A little bit further up here we have even more tents, which is housing the knights, so there's a little bit of them here, and then this will then eventually continue over to something else happening on the plain here. So that is mostly the eastern side here, which is slightly outside the actual city. So let's move towards the middle section here, which is where most of the stuff is happening. And this is one of the most completed parts of the city. So in the southern part here, we have a small market square. So this will eventually be filled up with market stalls, I think. And it's going to look really cool. And the big white building in the front here, or that we're looking at, is the town hall, and then there's a massive statue facing it. The other houses here around this place is mainly for selling goods and supporting the noble people with a good economy and stuff. So that is like this small section here. Right behind here we have a gatehouse which will eventually lead to the castle, which is going to be on this separate island here, so stay tuned for that. Apart from that, we have a lot of these walls surrounding the inner city, so the city center is completely surrounded by massive stone walls. So you can see them here, and next to them we have a lot of buildings that are used to make the defense work. So this is like a house for like a small barracks, I guess, and there's some meeting rooms to discuss tactics and storage, and there's even some sleeping quarters and all that sort of stuff next to that. Whoops, and we have a little statue. Next to that we also have a stable for keeping the horses for the guards. So that's pretty cool. And then there's a lot of these smaller streets around the market square for all sorts of houses. The idea is that the city center, the part that's enclosed with walls, is wealthier than the outside area. So you'll see that in a very distinct way when it comes to the styling and the scale that we're building. So the houses here look much grander, much more detailed, cleaner, more vivid when it comes to color stuff. Here we have another of the gatehouses here, which is the one that leads out to the barbican here. So it's a pretty cool gatehouse, and I really like the back here. One thing I'm trying to do is to utilize all space, especially for small farms connected to the houses. So we have smaller farms and a little greenhouse here and all that sort of stuff just happening between here. There's a little path or road going here, and then we have just squeeze up next to the wall here some farming areas, which is really cool. Then if we move further north up here, we'll get to, yeah, this is another barracks, this big brick building here, which has a small training ground in the back here, which is quite cool. And then next to that we just have tons of these houses, and again all of them have small farming areas behind them, just like that, which is, it just creates a cool atmosphere, I think. And then of course we have the massive temple, which is pretty center of the city itself, and it's on this hill here, the Hill of Faith. So this is it's a custom religion, or it's a religion made specifically for this project here, where there's a goddess, which is the upper or most important divine, I guess. So we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. Here we have this other gatehouse, which is from the western side, and this takes you straight into this small opening here. Let's go down, all like that. So we have the massive temple up on the hill. Below that we have the crypts of the city, and then next to that we have this tan building here, which is one of the banks. So it's a pretty big building here. Inside the crypt we have these massive openings and these tunnels where we store the dead. So pretty cool looking and pretty massive and very grand feeling, making sure that you tell the story of the wealth of this city here. Now let's actually move over and take a look at the temple quickly, shall we, as well. And again, if you want more details on any building here, just check out the other videos and you'll see me build all of these. In the front of the temple we have like this little park or plaza area for the people to just socialize and find peace, I guess. And then inside it's pretty grand. We have the statue here of the goddess, and yeah, just really again trying to portray the wealth of this city here. Really cool stuff, and a lot of different floors, as you can see, just creating a really cool and intricate layout for this place. There's even some really cool stuff as you move upwards here. So up above the room we just saw, there's like offices and libraries and all that sort of stuff, but all the way up we have this garden for the priests, and this is just a peaceful place, a nice colorful tree in the middle, and the absolute best view you can possibly imagine. Just look at the view from the top here. It's stunning. Anyway, on the opposite side here, on the eastern side of the temple, we have some inns, a small park here, and a lot of these buildings here, which wraps around. This is a big carpentry, so yeah, a lot of woodwork happening here. But if we just continue moving over here, we'll get to a staircase, and it takes us into the ruins of the old castle, which was broken, or actually mostly abandoned, after not being used too much, and then slowly degrading. But we have the ruins of the old castle wall here, as you can see. And then in the middle we actually have some of the remains of the actual castle, which is now being repurposed as a school for the children here, as the lords have figured that the city is doing so well, and educating the kids is a great investment. So they're trying to repurpose this building here as a school for the kids. But inside this the ruin here we also have like a park, so it's all just planted with beautiful trees and flowers, and we also have this wonderful shrine thing here as a memory of the past. So it's really cool. Let's actually check out this ruined castle, shall we, as the next part. So we can get up through here and we get into the courtyard of this ruined castle, and as you can see it's very worn and old looking. Up there we have the donjon. This is actually mostly ruined. Yeah, I don't think there's anything left in here, like it's all broken and not really used, but I think you can like somehow manage to parkour your way up here, and as you can see it's very old. I wonder, is there, yeah, they've added some ladders and stuff so you can get up here, but is not being used at all anymore. So yeah. So that's the donjon here, and then we have like the main rooms, and this is where the school is currently being held. So we can get in here, and here we have like the whoops, I've forgotten this room still. I need to get to that. But here we have like a place for a priest or one of the wise people to teach the kids alongside here. And then of course we have offices and rooms and other stuff in the upper floors here. And this is actually a part of the new battlement of the city as well. So the city walls are connected to this. But again, you can really see that this is older than the newer walls that surround the city center. But that's really cool. And next to that, let's move over to another small area where we have like a small separate market square as well. Actually, let's do this by ground, just because I love the atmosphere around here. So we walk around here, we have some houses. It's looking pretty cool. They have like small backyards, you know, here as well. All of these houses are furnished, by the way, if you're new here. Or most of them are. I keep on forgetting rooms here and there, but yeah, you get the idea. Most of them have rooms and shops and everything. And then you come to this area here, which is, yeah, another square. And then this in the center we have a well. So this is a community well going down to the groundwaters. And then we have all sorts of stuff. I think this is a guild for smiths, I think. And then we have like weaponry. We have some inns as well. This white building in the back here, or actually a tan building, is an inn. Looking pretty cool. And yeah, all sort of stuff. And in the back here again, utilizing the space, we're having some farms, farmhouses and stuff. Just squeeze up here. The terrain is pretty hard to maneuver, so building bigger houses isn't really doing it. So just squeezing in some plateaued farms here really works. And that is mostly the city center done. And we've kind of covered most of the different sections of the city. And again, if you want to see the houses in detail, you gotta check out the previous videos where we build them and take a look at the interiors and all that sort of stuff. Now let's move on to the newest section, which as you can see clearly isn't done, but is well on its way for being done. We have the harbor district and the poorer part of the city. So this will be built, or kind of, yeah, split into two sections. There's going to be a lot of like port and harbor thing happening alongside the waters, and then in this, yeah, the drier areas, I guess the center part here is going to be mostly for normal houses and stuff. But let's check out what we actually have built here. So we have yeah, these houses here, which are built just alongside the docks here, and they're mostly focused around harbor stuff, such as selling fishing gear, storing goods coming in with boats, selling ropes, whatever, all that sort of stuff. And there's a tavern as well for the sailors here. And of course we have some big ships here, which was built in the previous episode, which I love. I haven't seen your feedback yet, just because I'm pre-recording a little bit here, but I hope you guys like that one. Anyway, in between the houses here, I want to again do these small farms, but I'm going to try to do like city quarters almost. So we have buildings on all the sides, and then we have some farms in between the houses here, just creating some small pockets of air and peace between the hectical streets of the city here. Let's finish the tour and go over to another part I want to include in today's video, which is a short update on the plan for this place. And as you can see, I have actually gone in and added more wool and done planning to this place here. And yeah, so let's go over that a little bit for those of you interested. I want to do a prison here. You can see the pink wool, a small prison, and it's also going to be like a navy fort protecting the harbor if needed, but also in peacetime it's going to be used as a prison. We're going to build a custom hill up here, and it's going to look pretty cool, I think. Then I've added a dry dock here, or I wanted to add a dry dock here, and then a lot of these storage buildings. The yellow is going to be the smaller shelters for storing things. We're going to have a lighthouse here, and no buildings on this peninsula here, whatever you want to call it. But we're gonna have like, yeah, again, like shelters or cupboards for storing stuff alongside here. And then in the back, we're gonna have a lot of houses. So we're gonna have all the orange and red is gonna be for houses. This is gonna be the harbor master's house. It's gonna be a massive building here in the center of the harbor. It's gonna look awesome. Behind that, I want to do a fish market, so a covered market where we sell fish. So it's going to be a simple structure with a roof and then just tons of market stalls underneath it. And then here is going to be like a simpler docking area, somewhat similar to what we built on the eastern side here for like the oyster fishers. On this side here, we're gonna have a little park area in the middle here, or a green area just in the center here, and then this big light gray square you can see in front of the gate is going to be a big wide street, mostly because you don't want to have narrow streets leading towards the gatehouse because people can easily hide. So having a big wide street like that is gonna open it up and make it easier to defend. But it's gonna act as some sort of monument, so I'm gonna make this look pretty and kind of create this nice plaza thing, but without too much stuff happening, like no big statues or whatever in the middle here. And then again, more houses here. The green is indicating the farms in between the buildings here. And then the yellow here is going to be a wall. It's going to be a simple wooden wall defending this part here. Nothing fancy as we have in the city center here. But that's going to look really cool, and I'm super excited to get back on working on this. Previously, I've stated that I want to do 20 episodes of Osterham and then move over to a smaller project as a little break, but currently I'm so inspired for this section here that I think I'm just going to go with it until I start losing my inspiration and then take a break. So if you don't mind, let's work a little bit more on this poorer section, and then eventually, as I said, move over to the castle, which is going to be built on this separate island here. So we'll stay with Osterham for as long as I have the motivation and inspiration, and then take a short break just to refresh our minds a little bit, and then of course get back to this place. Well, anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. It's been Viggoman, and I'm out.